keep running. I got to pop out the Zin real quick. Shout out to the Zins. And let's jump to our main card. Starting it off, we got Punahele Soriano versus Euros Medic. And also, guys, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. My pick has been Euros Medic for this fight. He's definitely more technically sound and striking. Now, I was slightly worrisome about the size between these two. Simply put, because Euros Medic is formerly a 155-pounder. He was at lightweight. Punahele Soriano was up at middleweight. Now they meet at 170 pounds, and I was excited to see how they looked on the scales. We'll bring up the scales in a minute, but I want to talk the matchup for a second. Euros Medic clearly is the better striker technically. Punahele Soriano throws good power hooks and has good pressure, but the issue with Punahele Soriano is he really doesn't have great entries. Like, he can close the gap by throwing hard shots, but you saw Brendan Allen piece him up from the outside really badly. Brendan Allen is a decent striker, but he's not hyper elite. I'd say Euros Medic is technically superior to a Brendan Allen. We saw Soriano get beat up by Roman Kopylov as well.
Very crucial to have the
I feel like Euros Medic should probably take this one home. I'm going to say live for a counter shot KO. Soriano beat up the corpse of Miguel Baeza last time, and I think some people might be high on that win. Yo, he looked good against Baeza. He looked shredded. He looked strong. Dude, Miguel Baeza doesn't want to be a fighter anymore. Euros Medic is dialed in. He's living the fighter lifestyle. I like Euros Medic a lot. I think he's ready to go. And the scales gave me a bit of like added confidence because I was like a little bit worried about potentially Medic looking too skinny. But bro, he's actually really filled in nicely to this 170-pound frame. Soriano looks in great physical shape. Respect where it's due. He looks jacked. I got to get the better face-off. This face-off kind of just shows you Soriano. But listen, let me get the side-by-side right now, okay? Look at this. Yes, Soriano has, like, bigger biceps. But looking at their statures, forget about the arms. Soriano has big arms, but do yourself a favor for a second, bro. Just cover the arm and then compare, right? Soriano might be like a tad bit leaner, but as far as like thickness of the back, I'd say similar. As far as the like fighting muscles, I think that realistically, Medic is good to go. He's more wiry. He's better from the outside. He's going to be quicker and slicker than Punahele Soriano. I feel like Euros Medic is going to win this fight. I'm feeling good about Medic taking this one home. I think he probably finds a counter shot. I feel like he could sleep Soriano. That's the vibe I'm getting. Dude, the way he ended Tim Means was sick. And yeah, Mitabek Orabai ran him over on short notice, but Orabai is a dominant grappler. Soriano's got okay wrestling, but by no means would I call Punahele Soriano a good wrestler in MMA. He's okay. He's decent. Defensively, he's pretty sound, but he's dealing with a kickboxer here who likes to use range. Minus 220 for Euros Medic with Punahele Soriano sitting at plus 185. Looking towards some of the others. Ave Maria. Let's see. Over 1.5, minus 160. Good chance of it, but we want to throw the house on it. Medic by KO, plus 135. He's definitely got a chance for this knockout. KO there. KO there. KO there. It's like, bro, he's a fucking cold-blooded kickboxing finisher. I like Euros Medic, man. And I think he's getting better, too. He's 31. He's really entered his prime now. I see him beating Punahele Soriano. Soriano was once a pretty promising prospect at middleweight. He had good athleticism, but let's be honest, dude. A middleweight going down in weight usually struggles for success a lot more than a welterweight going up in weight. You get what I'm saying? Because the skill gap and technicality is very different. Like, the guys are better at welterweight normally than at middleweight, especially unranked. So I'm going to say Euros Medic takes this one home and gets a nice win put together. I see him beating Punahele Soriano and starts the card off with a nice entertaining W, I believe. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we got Austin Bashi versus Christian Rodriguez. I like this fight. I like this fight a lot, actually.
If you guys could hear my background, sorry about that. It's UFC.
I'm picking Austin Bashi to win because I think the dude is a sensational grappling prospect. He's also got Muay Thai base, right? So he can strike with C-Rod, okay? But I think he uses that striking to get to his strongest area, which is just excellent grappling with insane control, great positional dominance. I think Austin Bashi is taking this one home, man. I actually really feel like he's live for a submission. C-Rod, he did great work at bantamweight. Granted, he was missing weight for a lot of those fights. He struggled more so at featherweight. Like, when he was at featherweight, he should have lost this Dogarian fight. He lost to Julian Erosa, and he's also lost to Jonathan Pierce. Austin Bashi is a lot more technically proficient in grappling than a Jonathan Pierce level of grappler who had success taking C-Rod down. I think Bashi is going to be on the mark in this fight, hitting takedowns, pressing C-Rod, gassing C-Rod, wearing him down. And I think Bashi is going to end up taking home a submission win. I've heard of him for years, man. This is a really high-stakes debut. Like, to step in for your first fight against C-Rod at this point, because he's, like, good at busting up prospects. He did it to Simon. He did it to Raul Rosas. I think that Austin Bashi, though, gets past the C-Rod test. He's not going to beat every undefeated guy that he fights. And I think Austin Bashi ends the trend of C-Rod busting prospects. So we're going with Bashi for the W. His grappling skill is sensational. C-Rod's got good stand-up, but I don't think he's knocking Bashi out. I don't think he's got the power to keep him off. And Bashi's also in damn good shape. Dude's jacked. He looks ready to go. He's got an intense demeanor. There's C-Rod. He's rocking the blonde hair. Dude, I don't think C-Rod has the strength to deal with Bashi. You'll see, like, a little bit of the difference in the muscle tone as well. Like, look at the side-by-side. I get it. They both weighed in at 145, but, like, look at the difference in physicality. Bashi looks like a legit featherweight. I know he's fought at bantamweight previously, but he fills in this featherweight frame. Whereas C-Rod looks like a bantamweight who didn't cut to 135 pounds. Even though Bashi's on the shorter side, he has the build of a true featherweight. And I think Bashi is going to absolutely dominate C-Rod. So I'm going to say Bashi with grappling dominance for the win and probably finds himself a finish too. That angle's not as good. That's why I like the other angle, man. That's why I'm bringing you guys the more HD face-off picks instead of relying on MMA Junkie this week. Minus 270 for Austin Bashi. Christian Rodriguez sitting at plus 230. I see Bashi taking home a nice dub. Let's see. What else are we looking at here? Bashi to win via submission is going to be my official call. Bashi by sub around plus 315, but even as high as plus 450. So interesting lines there. I like Bashi. I like Bashi by sub. I see Bashi getting the dub. Let's go. Austin Bashi taking it home. It feels good for me. It's got a nice ring to it. Bashi for the W. He beats C-Rod. He does. I see it. We're going Bashi for the win. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight brings us to an absolutely sick fight. I am going to consider this fight as the people's main event. We got Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. Now, throughout the week, I've been picking Chris Curtis as an underdog because I've said I think he can work well with his hands, closing the gap on Kopylov. Kopylov is not going to offer the takedown threat in this fight like he did against Cesar Almeida. In moments against Almeida, Kopylov was getting touched up. Now, granted, he dropped him too, and I get it. Cesar Almeida's a crafty and high-level kickboxer, but Chris Curtis has very good MMA boxing, and he's got good combinations, especially in the mid and close range. So if he can close that gap on Kopylov, he's going to find success. Now, where he'll struggle is from range. If Kopylov can keep Curtis away from him and kind of do what Jack Hermanson did to Curtis and just pick him apart, yes, he's live to win a dominant decision. But I think Chris Curtis is going to bring a lot of pressure to close that gap. And I feel like he can land some big punches on the inside on Kopylov. But I will tell you, the face-off spooks me a bit.
I'm just not trying to hit him in his mouth.
Let's check this out. We got Roman Kopylov. He looks in good shape. To be honest, Kopylov looks absolutely crazy, though. When you look at Kopylov closely, he looks like a, I don't know. He looks kind of like a gremlin pig demon mix.
Should be no way.
Then we got Chris Curtis doing the usual pose. But look at the height difference. What? Is Chris Curtis like bending over? I don't understand. This is 6 foot to 5'10". I know Kopylov had his slides on, but like Kopylov looks so much taller than him. This is crazy. Is Chris Curtis actually 5'8" and Kopylov's really 6'2"? This height difference is scary for me. Like, this is worrisome. Chris Curtis looks so short. I get it, he's not standing up straight. But, like, look at the level of Curtis's shoulder to the level of Kopylov's shoulder. That's a massive height difference. Kopylov's a good striker from range, man. Now I'm getting scared on this Chris Curtis pick. I won't lie to you. Now the fear is set in.
21, I know it's
like,
gonna
I
get
thought
hard
these
for me.
guys were going to look similar in height. Chris Curtis is supposed to be 5'10". Kopylov 6 foot. Kopylov looks 6'3". Chris Curtis looks 5'8".
Easy work.
That's crazy to me. I'm actually in shock by the height difference. It freaked me out earlier when I saw it.
And also, folks, don't get it
Kopylov
confused.
at minus 212, Curtis at plus 182. I've liked Curtis as a dog, but I'm fucking worried, man. The kicking from distance by Kopylov is on point. The sniper striking from range is on point. Chris Curtis is going to have to bring a lot of forward pressure to avoid getting caught up on the outside. Now, to be fair, Chris Curtis in his last fight made me proud, though. He gave Brendan Allen hell, and I mean, shit, tore his hamstring at the end, but was going tooth and nail with Allen, who at that time was riding a nice win streak. Over is probably likely at minus 210. I've been saying Curtis by decision, plus 450. Damn. Kopylov decisions, minus 110. The big argument I have against Kopylov is he hasn't beaten anybody that's really good, right? Like, if you look at the wins for Kopylov, Cesar Almeida's okay. Josh Fremd is not good. Claudio Ribero's not good. And Punahele Soriano is mid and now at welterweight. Chris Curtis, I mean, the Barrio win by split looks really bad, but he followed it up with a great performance against Brendan Allen. And Malvolov fight, no contest. He was losing. The Kelvin Gastelum fight, he kind of got fucked by the headbutt, to be fair.
Don't need him, but
Joaquin Buckley knockout win has aged like a fine wine, though. This fight has me sitting here thinking, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm like, damn, is this the worthwhile pick flip of the night? Is Roman Kopylov just too tall and long?
Shields or pack 3. I'll do 3
Something told me to pick Chris Curtis on Sunday. And even though my instincts are telling me maybe jump ship, I just feel like I can't do it. I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice. What, I get panicked because he looks short, and then they get in the cage, they look almost the same height. Curtis wins a split decision, and I'm kicking myself. I won't do it. I'll stick with Chris Curtis. Win, lose, or draw. I'm going to ride with my picks from Sunday. I'm going to ride with it. Fuck it. I'll take it on the chin if need be, or I'm delivering a knockout punch. I say split decision by Curtis, but the confidence on it is lower than it was earlier in the week. I did not expect these guys to look this vast of a difference in height. Holy hell, the height difference is crazy. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, we got Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Cesar Almeida. I've been picking Cesar Almeida all week. I think Cesar should touch Abdul Razak Al Hassan up, man. I feel like he's going to outstrike Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I feel like his hands are pretty accurate. His movement is good. He comes from a high-level base in kickboxing. And finally, he gets to fight somebody with shorter reach than him and just being shorter. I think this is good. This is good for Cesar Almeida. Having a little range edge. Abdul Razak Al Hassan's got big power, but he doesn't have good setups. He looks to explode and just throw bombs, but ultimately, against a crafty kickboxer like Cesar Almeida, doing things like that's going to be difficult. Real quick, I got to take a sip. Shout out to the Celsius. They're not an official sponsor of the show, but they should be. Get yourself some Celsius sparkling cherry cola. It tastes like a Coke cherry, but it gives you the energy of,
that's his channel.
Fucking, you know what? Some nose boogers, you know what I'm saying? Some nose sugar.
Y'all need to get right and stay off them energy drinks.
Sorry for the random rant. I needed a sip. I'm picking Cesar Almeida. His wrestling sucks, but Abdul Razak Al Hassan doesn't have good takedowns. He has, I guess, relatively decent judo with his judo base. They don't use it in MMA. When is he throwing people, really?
Boys be on 5
He's throwing knockout punches. He's been outstruck by good kickboxers before. I think he's going to get picked apart here and probably finished by Cesar Almeida. This is Cesar Almeida's chance to kind of get his stock back up after getting dominated by Kopylov. There is Cesar Almeida. Looks okay.
I should make more vids, man. I did
Abdul Razak Al Hassan, he looks thick, per usual.
Sorry, folks.
Somehow he looks younger. It's because he grew his hair out, man. It looks a lot better than his old buzz cut.
I'll be on.
And let's look at the face-off. You can see Almeida's got that height advantage. This is good for Almeida. I think he'll be able to strike well. These guys stood so far from each other. My God. I feel like Cesar Almeida is able to touch him from distance, pick him apart with some good shots, slip and move on him. Maybe find the death punch. I would like to see Cesar Almeida get a KO. I think it'd be good.
Ridiculous.
Be good for his hype. would definitely, you know, push him back towards top 15 potential. It's a big favorite at minus 253. Abdul Razak Al Hassan plus 213. I'm picking Cesar Almeida, though. He's got to be the pick, bro. You got to pick Cesar. No other way about it. KO win for Cesar Almeida plus 130. I say Almeida picks his shots well. He finds some clean ones to the target of Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Probably finds a counter shot KO. Abdul will leave some openings. He'll get a bit wild. And I think Cesar Almeida has the abilities to make him pay. So the pick is going to be Cesar Almeida. I'm going with the kickboxer. Next fight on the card, co-main event of the evening. We got Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Carlston Harris. I don't even understand this fight as a co-main. We got Kopylov and Curtis, not the co-main, and this is. The bout order was made by somebody that was drinking on the job. I don't get it.
I don't like the health.
I've been picking Ponzinibbio throughout the week, but I really don't like this fight that much. Carlston Harris is so clunky and awkward in striking. Ponzinibbio, he's definitely the better boxer, but like he looks pretty old in the cage. Carlston Harris throws slapping shots, though, and I'm telling you, I've been saying it all week. He looks like a 60-year-old journeyman boxer from South America, bro. The dude is awkward, and he lacks technique. He's got good jiu-jitsu, though. He's long. He's 6 feet tall with a 76-inch reach. I want to look at the scales. He looks in good shape. He got viciously starched by Chaos Williams last time, which, I don't know. I think his chin might be gone. Ponzinibbio looks jacked. Ponzi's fiending for a win. Can you explain to me these heights? Is Carlston Harris 6'3"? Is Ponzinibbio 5'10"? Like, do we have the wrong heights on Tapology? Because this is the second fight of this card where it's like a what the fuck height difference when the guys are listed at the same height. Can we get some fucking, some checks on this? I don't understand. If Ponzi can close that gap and touch that chin, bro, he can lay Carlston Harris out. I'm going to say Ponzi's got one more violent win in him. And I think he needs to retire after this fight. Please, Ponzi, retire after this one. I think he's live to sleep Carlston. He's a slight favorite at minus 135. Harris plus 115. I would not touch the money lines here on either one of these guys, bro. They're not top caliber. They're past their primes. Either one could end up getting caught with something stupid. It's just simply not really a great bet. Ponzi by KO's plus 230. There's not much of a needle-moving line on that one, but I am going to predict that he finds the knockout. He hurt Muslim Salikov last time. Carlston Harris was violently chinned last time by Chaos. I know he pulled off the comeback against Jeremiah Wells, but he was getting fucked up. He beat Jared Gooden, but Gooden's awful. Shavkat absolutely ended him, and he hasn't looked the same since the Shavkat loss. Ponzinibbio, the Jeff Neal splits 3 years ago. Perez splits 2.5. Morono, he was losing, but he caught him with the comeback punch. Kevin Holland chinned him, but Kevin Holland's difficult. Muslim Salikov split decision. He was close in that fight. And Salikov got a 6-spinning back kick knockout of King On Song. I just think, for me, I'm going to go towards Ponzinibbio. You can't really know for sure with these oldies, but I'm going to say Ponzinibbio could catch him with a looping punch. Harris is so stiff. He lacks head movement. He has a subpar chin, and I think he looks older than Ponzinibbio somehow. So Santiago Ponzinibbio to knock Carlston Harris out is going to be the official prediction. Next fight, it brings us to our main event. I'm telling you guys, the UFC is doing us a good blessing with a pay-per-view level main event to cap off a fight night. Make sure you guys smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Woo! Dern versus Hebos 2. It's not a bad fight, but this is not a main event. This card's bout order is just random and delusional. I don't even understand. I don't understand it. But let me talk about the fight, okay? I don't want to make this, full complaint. We're doing picks. Okay, Hebos is the pick. Hebos is bigger. Hebos is better. Hebos beat her before. She's got good peppering punches. She's got fast 1-2. She's got very good jiu-jitsu. I think Hebos is better at grappling dominance positionally, whereas Dern is better at transition speed. But ultimately, I don't really see Dern getting on top of Hebos. I actually can see both of their grappling skill sets kind of negating one another's, and this turning into more of a striking fight. Dern does have some like wide explosiveness when she throws some of her chaotic shots, but she lacks technicality and she also really lacks precision. Whereas Amanda Hebos is a bit more precise. She picks her shots better. She's a bit calmer. I don't know. I just think Hebos has done Even though losses on the resume fighting at flyweight, she's done a good thing by taking on some of the best flyweights in the world. She went 5 rounds in a competitive fight with Thug Rose last time out. Fight before that, she beat Pinheiro, who turned out to be trash, and that was actually at strawweight, which this fight takes place at, showing she can still make the weight no problem. Macy Barber knocked her out in a good back-and-forth fight, but Barber's high caliber and a big girl. She beat Viviane Araujo. That's actually a big win. That aged well. Vivi just absolutely busted the prospect in Corinne Sova. Close fight with Caitlin Sarmanara, Caitlin Chukagan formerly. I think Ribas going up in weight is good for her. She got some experience against these big girls, and she's shown she can compete with like most women within 125, 115 pretty competitively. Mackenzie Dern on the other side, I mean, she beat Lupi Godinez last time, but Godinez a lot shorter than her, really only offers wrestling, doesn't have much of a quality striking game from range, more inside fighting, boxing, and she's just not that good. Amanda Lemos fight, dude, that was a weird fight, bro. Dern, she got touched up in that fight, but then Lemos fucking, giving her back up and shit, and Dern having success in grappling. Andrade absolutely wrecked her. Angela Hill win, okay, and then Yan Xiaonan lost. I guess she was tough in that fight. I think Ribas wins a decision. She beat Mackenzie Dern the first time they fought, and I think she's going to beat her a second time. She's still better than her. I just think she's the big sister to Mackenzie Dern. I feel like Ribas just got her number. She's just more technical. I remember when she beat her years ago. Was that 2019? There's Amanda Ribas on the scale. She got the very wiry and like skinny build. There's Mackenzie Dern with the silicone. She looks great though. Listen, I'm not shitting on her for it. Like I said, you cut and weight, they're gonna shrink to nothing unless they ain't real. And there's a close-up, of course. MMA Junkie giving you guys a close-up. Oh yeah, they got multiple picks. MMA Junkie's doing this on purpose. And then you see Amanda Ribas looking intense at the face-off. I really feel like she won the battle of the face-off. She also looks a good amount taller. Another fight where Tapology is telling us one height, and the reality is something completely different. I'm actually shocked by that. Like, I know they fought before. I thought they were about the same height, but damn. Ribas looks noticeably taller, and she's listed as an inch shorter than Mackenzie Dern. And winning the posture battle, you got to give it a Ribas. Look at the way she's standing straight up. She's got aura. She's got confidence. Dern, she looks in there tough, but like she's still submitting to Ribas, bro. Amanda Ribas gonna beat her again. She's got her number. This is just a bad matchup for Mackenzie Dern. I think she loses a unanimous decision. Ribas minus 190, Dern plus 164. I like the chances of Ribas taking it home. I feel like she would be a considerably underrated parlay piece at this point. I didn't give it as much attention earlier in the week, but on Friday, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to cook up a little extra parlay for you guys with some closer odds after we go over the parlays from Wednesday, and I'm feeling good about some of the calls this card. Over 4.5 at minus 210 is probably going long. Looking at Ribas to win, decision, minus 120, plus 100. I think Ribas does take it home by decision. I see her winning this fight. I see her getting back into the mix at women's strawweight. And I like Amanda Ribas a lot against, most of the top strawweights. I think she at least competes well. And I see her beating Mackenzie Dern for a second time. W incoming, Amanda Ribas. Those are the picks for the first card of 2025. We're not done, though. I want to look at some parlays. So Wednesday, I dropped some savagery with the parlays, okay? And I still feel like many of them hold weight, especially the true high confidence calls. I think they're looking pretty solid. Like the DGenAF one at the bottom, bro, that could end up coming to fruition too. But I want to do a live parlay for you guys that I was actually like visualizing throughout the show. Let me just get best